last night, we all saw the kickoff of NFL football. Is pretty, I don't know, depending on what fan you are. If you're a fan of the Bills, you're a fan of the Rams, NFC, AFC, I don't know how you feel. I would imagine if you're a Bills fan, you feel pretty damn good about where your quarterback is. Josh Allen, absolute monster. This guy, 5 incompletions, seems to have stiff-armed and ran over half the team of the Los Angeles Rams and just looked in control, looked like he was having fun, mixing it up, talking. Man, just a fun dude to watch. Now, the Rams, on the flip side, they just couldn't block him, could they, guys? What do you think? 4-man pressure all night, it seemed like. Buffalo was getting on the Rams. Matthew Stafford sacked 7 times. They lose 31-10. And the Buffalo Bills lose the turnover battle. They have 4 turnovers. The Rams have 3. Bills still find a way to blow them out in a game that's 31-10. Yeah, it was never. When was it close? I guess halftime, 10-10.
Kinda.
We go in halftime 10-10. I was actually just telling Diggs this before we came on. When they went to halftime 10-10, I'm thinking if I'm the Buffalo Bills, we're tied 10-10, and we had 3 turnovers in this first half. They're playing all right, but hey, if we can turn the ball over 3 times and still be tied to the defending Super Bowl champs in their house, I think we're going to be okay.
It was tied at half, but at no point in the first half did it feel like the Rams were in control at all. The only way they were getting their points was because of turnovers that either were flukes or whatever they were, and that's how they got most of their points in the first half. The Bills were just marching up and down the field. There was a lot of 3-and-outs for the Rams. They couldn't block them. I mean, the Bills' D-line is very good, so I don't know what that means for the Rams' offensive line yet. And then Stafford, I don't know if he was – D-Bud said maybe he's lying about his elbow, or he looked a little off last night.
He did. That was Tone Diggs speaking. We have Boston Connor here, Ty Schmidt, Zito, Evan Foxy, Nick Moraldo, everyone, Gertie, everyone is back here. Pat is the only one in Austin, I believe, right now today, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he will join us hopefully here in the second hour live from the game day set. I don't know if that's a secret or we're supposed to surprise it, but I guess it's not a secret anymore. No, he should be here. It's not really a secret.
No.
I said it yesterday.
So, Connor, what do you think? Okay, in that game, did you think the Rams were ever going to find a way to win?
No, not at all. There wasn't any time during the game where it was like, oh, this Rams offense is looking really good. This Rams defense is looking good.
Is it his elbow? Okay, Stafford, for me, there was times when I felt like, okay, maybe his elbow hurt. I don't know. Maybe that ball didn't have as much zip as it normally does. But then the next throw, I'd be like, okay, that looks like a Matthew Stafford football. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the Bills are that good. Like, there's a reason now. I think we all saw why they're the Super Bowl favorites, why Josh Allen is the MVP favorite. Like, there was no point where the Rams put a couple plays together where it's like, oh, okay, maybe they figured out what the Bills were trying to do to them. And they had those 2 rookie corners. Cooper Kupp did what he was going to do, but everyone else on the Rams offense was kind of a non-factor. And then, I mean, if you add Tre'Davious White to that defense after what they did last night, like it's going to be very hard to beat the Bills going forward, especially if they stay healthy the entire game.
I mean, Von Miller getting a sack on the first series of the game, making his presence felt. Gosh, he just brings so much to the team. Not even just what he does. Like, even when Von was not getting a sack, when he was getting pressure, I was just watching. We watched some of these clips. We're going to pull up some of them later in the show. I was just in awe making Evan run it back, but I came at home and run that back. Look at this inside spin move from Vaughn, even on the Cooper Kupp touchdown. Vaughn hits him with a sweet inside spin move, and Matt Stafford obviously knows if I don't get rid of this thing instantly, Von Miller's going to put me on my back. So I'm pumped to watch that D-line, the whole team play the rest of the season. Ty, what do you think about this Rams team? They going to be all right?
I don't know. I mean, I'd assume so. It's early. That doesn't really mean that much. But like you said, the Stafford interceptions, too, like, they just looked bad. Like, those are the types of picks you'd almost expect from a guy who, like, you know, he didn't really have any of the growing pains last year. Yeah. It's like he picked everything up and was good from the get-go. Like, he just didn't look good. And maybe that is just attributed to how deep the Bills' defensive line is, because it's really, you know, I mean, shit, even if Von Miller wasn't out there, like, they were getting pressure from 4 or 5 different guys who probably had multiple pressures all night. But they got to figure something out, too, because we talked all about, like, Allen Robinson, you know, and expecting him to be pretty good. And you can take what you want from him, but, like, some of his body language even last night just looked like where he's kind of, like, giving up on plays. And you wonder if that's tough when it's like, you know, Cooper Kupp is getting 20 targets a game. If he doesn't go, it kind of seems like they're not going to go. So, like, and again, it's early. I'm sure McVay's got plenty of things for it, but, like, they just, I don't know. We talked about, like, a hangover and that team being good enough where you didn't really expect it, but goddamn, they looked bad last night.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I think the Bills 100% look great. They look awesome. You have to give them a ton of credit.
Right.
I just don't know how the Rams, whatever the Rams showed last night is not what they're going to show late in the season. They'll be a different team, but how much better will they be? How healthy can they be? And now also, like, where does Odell Beckham Jr. go? I see him raising the trophy.
Yeah.
The Bills going to bring him on over. What are you going to do?
I don't know. And you also we'll see how big of a hole Whitworth ends up being because, I think it was kind of like they lose him and he has the storybook run and it's going to be okay. Like they'll figure it out. They have other, vets in that O-line room, but like that's a massive loss.
Four-man, like, okay, so I mentioned it earlier. I said they're able to get four-man pressure. So just their four down linemen, they can drop 7 in coverage. When you can get four-man pressure, you can kill people. And I saw something online where someone talked about Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator for the Bills, deserves a ton of credit. I think he is awesome. I love his demeanor on the sideline. He's not losing his mind, freaking out. You can tell he's confident in himself, and I love to see it. But when you can get four-man pressure, you don't have to bring any extra people. You don't have to bring a nickel, not a linebacker, not a safety. And these 4 guys can beat their 5 guys. Good luck. You can't. It's almost impossible.
That's how the Giants beat Patriots in Super Bowls, was getting pressure with 4 guys. And I was thinking the thing that scares me if you're not a Bills fan in the AFC is Josh Allen can do all the backyard stuff. He can do all the running stuff, which he takes some fucking shots when he does that. But he was also like on those first few drives, just making the correct read and getting the ball out quickly.
Boom, bam,
like
catch
if
it,
he,
throw,
if he does that too with all that other stuff, like that's a dangerous combination.
I mean, Josh Allen is 26 of 31, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 56 rush yards. And I would
in a rushing touchdown.
In a rushing touchdown where he had to kind of stiff arm and reach the ball out over Bobby Wagner tackling him. I mean, just an unbelievable performance too. And he's probably upset about those 2 picks. He's probably pissed off, I'm sure.
Well, one of them was right off Isaiah McKenzie's chest, and that really was
Maybe you're
his
more
fault.
pissed though.
Yeah, probably.
Receiver and the fact that he had another pick thrown.
And he went back to him for a touchdown. Like there was no phase of the Bills, it felt like, where it's like, oh, okay, they could probably get exploited here. Like their offense goes, like you just said, Josh Allen has the patience to just like nickel and dime them up.
Didn't he
the
feel
field.
like it was just okay? When you watch some games, and a lot of times it happens if you're a fan of one team or another. I know when I'm watching, I'm like, man, why does it look so easy for the opposing offense to just kind of catch it? Here we go, boom, 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 keep moving the ball down the field. And for us to ever get a first down feels like everything has to go perfectly and we have to execute perfectly. I felt like that was the Rams' offense last night where it just seemed so hard to move the ball down the field because the Bills' defense is that good.
Yeah, I think it's the D line for
sure.
No question.
For the Rams defense, is there a situation where, like Bobby Wagner, he could still you could see last night he could read a play like a motherfucker. Like if the guard's pulling, he's there. But in space, him and then Jalen Ramsey obviously did not look good last night. Is there a worry about their defense?
I mean, anyone. I'm sure. Raheem Morris is their D coordinator. I'm sure he's not happy today. But I think those are things like Jalen, you got to take the good with the bad. Like the dude, I think he took some chances, had some poor eye discipline at times where he's looking in the backfield and lets almost free runners happen. You never want to see that, but that could be kind of first game getting back into it. I'm going to take a few chances. I want to try to get our team back in this game at different times. And I think Bobby Wagner's fine. Honestly, if you didn't know the age of Bobby Wagner, you didn't know he's been playing for 10, 12 years, you wouldn't be like, oh, who's this old dude out here? It's because we know their age. It's like people view it with a weird, clouded mind, I feel like. And that was a hell of a play by Josh Allen on Bob. I was a hell of a play by Bobby Wagner trying to tackle Josh Allen in the open field on his touchdown.
It was more of stuff like out of the backfield. Like there was in the right flat a couple of times where he was just a step behind or whatever. I mean, it's also the first game of the year.
New scheme too.
It was 100 degrees there, so I mean,
it was very loud for the Rams when they're on offense, right? Why is that happening? Just because all these damn tourists come in, they love being in LA, and they make the place crazy?
I guess. I mean, when you got Gabe Morency in the bottom bowl, kind of just igniting the entire stadium, it doesn't matter if it's Bills or Rams.
Super Bowl was like that too.
Do you think any part of it too with the defense of the Rams is like it kind of just grinds on you because like they get those 2 turnovers, like they're kind of doing everything they can. It's like, hey, shit, we played. Considering what the Bills' offense did, like we held them to 10 points in the first half. Like I don't know how much more we can do. We can't continue this pace. Like the offense kind of has to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, you would hope there's no animosity between the O and D. If that continues over the year, you can have some issues. Like a guy could try to jump. Hey man, I was trying to make a play because you guys haven't put any points on the board like we usually have or we need tonight. So yeah, I mean it's all first game stuff. Like the Bills, they look awesome.
Yeah,
but we can't crown them champs right now. The Rams, they didn't look so great, but hey, you can't write them off. So that's just where we are right now. I feel
No,
like.
like the Rams are gonna be good. Like it's not. I think it's more so the fact that like Josh Allen's the guy now. Like obviously Rodgers and Brady. And
How
Mahomes.
long can he do that? I know I was watching the game, probably like everybody. Collinsworth's getting scared for him. This is great, all right, but
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. Like he was worried, and I started catching myself doing that. I'm like, man, this is so fun to watch. It's so awesome watching Josh Allen stiff arm dudes, throw him down, talk afterwards. His team gets energized. Josh Allen's smiling. He has so much fun. And I even started saying, man, it's great, but you don't want to do that too much. And then I flipped. I'm like, you know what, Josh Allen, be you. Who cares?
Yeah.
Be you. We don't tell running backs to get down. So you're a hybrid running back guy, can also throw the ball as well as anybody in the league. So just you be you. And pick and choose. Maybe you don't have to lower your shoulder when you're going out of bounds or something, but just pick and choose when you take those shots.
Well, just because he is so big and so physical too, like a lot of times, like he won't go down after first contact, and then he's just opening himself up to take like 2-3 massive shots before he actually does go down. Like I think he's pretty smart when he gets in space about like not taking massive shots, but when he gets into the middle of the field,
Can't
he's
help
like,
himself.
He can't. He can't.
The play where he's humping old buddy on the ground, he has he's on one leg for about 15 seconds. And he has half the team
Dudes are
taking him
just
down.
taking shots.
Yeah, free shots.
And he's getting up and he's so excited. I mean, I can imagine being on that team, being a coach on that team, even like every time that dude runs the ball, you're so excited when your quarterback who's getting paid $1 billion is out there putting his body on the line. Now, you want to be safe and careful at the same time, but you got to find that balance.
You also have to temper it because it's like, hey, every time this guy runs, he gets at least like fucking 7 yards.
Yeah.
So
How do
it's,
you know?
it's
If
tough
you're the
not
play
to
caller,
use that.
You're
Yeah,
Ken
exactly.
Dorsey. You're the new play caller. Like, all right, here we go, guys. Another 3rd and short.
Yeah,
all right, what do you
right.
want to do? Well, I want to get my quarterback in space. So not only can he juke these people, like he can run you over. I started feeling bad for these defenders when I'm like, if you're in space with Josh Allen, good luck, bud.
Yeah.
The dude puts 9 moves on you, and he also is going to run you over. Oh, and by the way, he can knock your helmet off with a stiff arm.
Yeah, you mentioned Dorsey. It feels like the whole Dayball leaving angle. We could probably don't have to worry about that one.
See
right
that
now.
people are already killing Dayball because he's catching shots. Oh, I guess it wasn't Dayball, was it? It was just, come on, it's one game. Yeah, Josh Allen can be awesome and Dayball can be awesome at the same time, right?
Sure,
One of
yeah.
them doesn't have to be stupid or not any good.
Yeah, and some of like the wrinkles that were in there. I don't know if they had this last year, but I mean, last night when right before Josh Allen scored that touchdown on Bobby Wagner, they did like a fake screen left, Josh Allen draw middle, and then at the last second he threw it to Stephon Diggs. It's like, how can you?
Didn't
actually,
Collinsworth say that? How do
Yeah,
you defend this?
exactly. Like,
how do you defend this?
There's no way. It's like a call. It reminded me of
Yes.
like Auburn in college, where they would run a read option, and then the quarterback would start running, and then he'd throw it 30 yards downfield for a touchdown. Like, there's really too many like facets of their offense to game plan for. Like, I don't understand how you can actually beat the Bills, and obviously it's one game, but still.
They made mistakes. Like
Yeah.
Cook fumbled, McKenzie off his chest. There was another one where McKenzie, I think, dropped the ball. Like they weren't perfect last night either, and they still looked dominant.
If you can weather the storm like they did, man, especially early, like you can weather that storm and continue to come back and keep fighting. That's what makes teams champions.
Also, they don't have a weak like their D line is Bill's D line is so good. Milano and Edmonds are so good.
Those guys are both
Sick.
underrated as well. Both
Very.
those, I might be a linebacker homer, but those guys are both highly underrated players. I think they're both studs. I know Milano got paid. I know they're very, very good, and they don't talk about them enough, I feel like.
They're good in the run and the pass, which I think in this day and age you have to be with your linebackers.
Yeah,
And
they're
the safeties,
both
right?
very, very athletic and can run. We got Poyer and Micah Hyde in the back
Yeah.
end, then the young corners step in. Oh, hey, by the way, Tre'Davious White didn't even play.
Yeah.
Our best corner.
And me and Diggs were talking about this last night. Like, we were thinking Kyer Elam, the first-round pick who plays corner, was going to start, and then it's a sixth-round pick from Villanova who beat him out. So it's like, oh, okay. So they have a first-round corner, and now they have a sixth-round corner, both rookies, and then they have Tre'Davious White, and then they probably have the best safety tandem in the league with Hyde and Poyer. So, and we've only been really talking about their D-line and their linebackers. Like, they really seem to be a complete team. Like, if they stay healthy, obviously that's the biggest thing. They need to stay healthy. But if they do, it's scary to think about.
Rightfully so, because if Trey White is out, like that D line just knows, like, hey, if we just fucking absolutely, terrorize whoever we're playing, like those guys aren't gonna have to cover as long, and it's not gonna matter who's out there.
They know that. Like, hey, guys, guess what? We're getting a lot of four-man pressure. We're good enough to get four-man pressure. If we really want to dial it up and bring 5 or 6, you have to cover for about a half a second.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to it's almost like a zero blitz coming at you.
I was talking to Connor, like, you could look at it two ways. I think I'm looking at it as, oh, great. The Bills found a 6th-round corner who's good enough to beat out their first-round corner. So that even adds to the depth of their corners, which may have been.
You can never have too many.
Yeah, which may have been the weakness of the secondary, maybe. But when you find talent like that, like good.
Well, and you rotate. How many D-line do they rotate through?
8, I thought they 6 or 8.
That's been their thing. They did it last year or whatever. I tell you what, it looks like it's a pretty good thing. Pretty good option. Maybe other teams could try that if you could find enough players, though, to do it.
Well, especially when you get a guy like Von Miller. Like, he's not just like a rotational piece. He's like a top 3 pass rusher in the NFL.
How does Vaughn, how he, like, what he does shouldn't be possible for how his size, how powerful he is. He bull rushes dudes right into the quarterback's lap all the time, but then he also, he'll give double dip a few times. He'll swim, he'll dip you, dip the tight end, dip the tackle, and still get in on a sack. He had one last night. He has every move in the book. His spin moves are beautiful. That dude hasn't slowed down.
His arms are as big as the Rocks too, which
credit to Dwayne for starting the whole season again. Did you guys
good.
know? I didn't know.
No.
I was legit in my living room. I was like, oh, hold on, everyone shut up. Shut up, he's here. I'm pointing at the TV, and they're like, wait, what's the Rock doing here?
He's awesome.
He's about to tell you what he's doing here.
Do you know? Because you would know. Is Vaughn in the Illuminati?